International social work has always been a desire of mine, so when the opportunity presented itself for me to study abroad in Ghana, I knew this was the perfect opportunity for me. From the time I departed Savannah, I had no expectations. Honestly, I was so nervous about the plane ride over, I couldn't even focus on how I felt about going to Ghana anymore. But once I walked off the plane in Accra, I knew this was going to be an experience of a lifetime, and I was ready for it. When we arrived in Ghana, it was practically midnight, so the town was asleep, and because I didn't really see anything, I didn't get much sleep. But that next morning, I was up and ready to go. I couldn't wait to see everything and to see the people moving on with their day, and to try some of the food, which wasn't so different from home. But you do get more bang for your buck, and I think Americans would appreciate that a whole lot. The scenery was so different from home, but I loved it. Prior to coming to Ghana, I knew that women typically walked around with baskets on their heads, but I didn't know it was so common. And it wasn't only women either, men and children also. It was completely amazing to see these people walking around with pounds of drinks, foods, and even cleaning supplies on their heads like it was nothing. Just about everything was different. Some of the cars were even different, and they didn't really stay in one lane. They were a little everywhere. You could literally be driving down the road, and cows would be running down the other side of the street. It was crazy. Sometimes I would be walking down the street, and there would be cows, goats, or chickens walking beside me, which was a little scary, but they never bothered me, so it wasn't too bad. Beyond the beautiful scenery, I met a lot of beautiful people. The hospitality in Ghana is so different from America. There are a lot more genuine with their actions here. With that being said, I really cherish a lot of the new relationships that I created here, and I wish that I could take them with me, but I can't, so I have to be sure to come back. Philanthropist Bill Gates once said, "I believe that if you show people the problems and you show them the solutions, they'll be moved to act." This experimental education helped me more define why I want to be a social worker and why international social work may be the avenue for me. Being exposed to the downside of different communities has shown me the problem, and completing my service learning requirements at both Basics International and the orphanage has shown me the solutions. Working with these children has been the highlight of my experience. I enjoyed helping them with their homework, learning from them, and even just listening to them vent about their day at school. And they enjoy hearing stories about children in America and Snapchat. Overall, this experience was great. But many things began to hit home for me once I took a tour of the Cape Coast Slave Castle. Being there was such a heavy and humbling experience. No movie or history book could have ever prepared me emotionally for what I felt. Walking through those dungeons and thinking about all the things I've learned and I've seen in the movies about the slave trade really began to hit my heart. But it really broke me when he explained how the black stuff on the ground that was hardened over the bricks was hardened human waste and even some of their flesh, and how they had to sleep in it. Everything I had heard and learned suddenly became so surreal for me in that moment. Seeing the door of no return was a little depressing, as well as knowing that people were literally ripped from their homes forever. Some of them didn't even make it out of the castle or to the next place before they died because of how unsanitary it was or how poorly they were treated. Once we got on the other side of the door of no return, we were able to walk back in, and the sign on the door read, "The Door of Return," with the Quaba written on the walls. At that moment, I chose to yes, acknowledge the past, but also be grateful that I was standing at the Cape Coast Castle, because me being there was a testament that my ancestors didn't suffer for anything. Not only am I succeeding as a young African American woman in America, but I've been able to return back to our original home, and that as a people, we aren't perfect, but we're strong enough to overcome many obstacles. I mean, hey, the whole point of Africans even being enslaved in the first place because they were considered to be really strong people. History is one of the causes of poverty, and almost every element of Africa's history, colonization, slave exporting, and systematically extracting resources has left Africa to be the impoverished country it is now. Ghana has only been free for 60 years. We can look at the evolution of America and conclude that 60 years is not a long time at all to develop a country basically from nothing. So they are relatively new at this, even though Africa isn't a new place. When the colonizers left, they took all the resources with them and expected them to grow from nothing. Being in Ghana and learning about where they are as a society has given me the stamp of approval that I needed. This trip has confirmed that international social work is definitely in my near future. Even though I'm only at a bachelor's level of social work for now, I know that I will be more than capable to help contribute to the growth of the social welfare system, as well as help enhance the lives of many families and children that I encounter. So with that being said, I would like to say thank you to the Social Work Department of Savannah State University for not only teaching me how to have a global perspective and respect for other cultures, but also presenting me with this awesome opportunity. I would also like to individually thank my professors, Dr. Gale, Dr. Deloach, and Dr. Sanders, for helping make this experience possible in more ways than one. And a very special thank you to both my family and church family for all of your support and pushing me to break barriers. Your words of encouragement and prayers meant the most to me. Hopefully, I'll be bringing you the next time I come to visit Ghana. My name is Renata Dilbert, and I am currently a rising senior in the social work program. Thank you for taking interest and time to hear about my study abroad experience.